We're back. Visual radio. We had some great shows with the Encore Casino Hotel. James Montgomery, we've been on a roll. Tonight, Bill Tauro. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I've known about you for years. Who are you?
Was that good or bad?
It's good.
It's good.
You're a colleague. You're doing hard work and good, important work.
I'm trying to spread the word out there. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to interrupt and just say that the masses out there are so busy earning a living, they don't have time to look under the rocks and see where their money's going.
Well, if you look under the rocks, you're going to find a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. The average person doesn't have the time to go out looking for it. The corruption is everywhere. You have to look at it and you'll trip right on it.
And here's what boggles my mind. You go to the grocery store with a triple coupon. You're excited you saved $2. You don't see the $5,000 coming out of your back pocket that year.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's true. They worry about the little things when the big thing's right behind them over there. And in Somerville, we did quite a bit of looking and we found quite a bit. And everything in my book is all real stories, true names, and true events.
I want to know about you, but let me ask this question about the book. You publish a newspaper.
Correct. I'm the publisher of the Somerville News Weekly.
So is this culled from your writings that have been published already in the paper?
Some of it is in there, yes. And it's all, like I said, it's all true stories of factual events that happened in the city of Somerville, two people, and how they got robbed and how they got screwed by the administration, and it's still continuing.
Well, there's an old adage, you can't fight City Hall. Can you?
You can. You got to put a lot of time and effort in it and tell the truth. You can fight City Hall. Everyone hears that you can't fight City Hall and they're afraid to. They back right down. A lot of people a lot of people on my side, they like what I'm doing, but they just can't come out and say it because they have livelihoods and they don't want the retribution and everything like that. But I get it. I'll get hundreds of text messages, private messages, phone calls. We're with you. We can't like you on Facebook. We're with you 100%, especially the police department. So, I mean, they want to do something about it, but I get it. They can't.
It's like being a ball player, but a little bit more serious.
Oh, yeah.
You have to keep the team happy so people don't rock the boat. But we're talking about public safety. We're not talking about a ball game.
Oh, I'm not afraid of rocking the boat. I enjoy doing that. I mean,
but I'm saying if they're employed, they're worried. They're looking over their shoulder for employment.
Well, they're going to look for their livelihood because, you get like the Mayor of Somerville. If he knows you're writing about him and talking about him or giving information about him, your career's done. He's ended many careers in Somerville, and the way he does it is just he gives them an ultimatum in here. They have to sign like a disclosure where they won't reveal anything for 60 days or 2 years after he gets rid of you. But, I get it. That's the way he works.
Hey, I won an award with him, separate, for our counterpart to this TV show. We have a radio show, too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he won an award and that was like Somerville Cable TV.
Yep.
But it was interesting. It was packed, and Curtatone was there. And Curtatone, I think he and the fellow in Malden, Gary Christensen, I think they get public access and the importance of it. Where in Medford, they don't. So for me, to have you here in Wakefield is good.
No, thank you.
Because now Wakefield can see what's going on. And Bill, this is so important to me. Cities and towns don't understand they're connected. Your leg's connected to your torso.
It is.
And so Wakefield has got to be aware of Somerville. Where it's only a few cities and towns away.
You could change that title to Stealing Wakefield, Stealing Medford, Stealing Malden.
All of it.
It's happening everywhere.
It is. Saugus.
It's right
Lynn.
under your nose, believe it or not. You have to just look for it.
I want to talk about you, but here's a problem. The Medford TV station, they dissolved in 2013.
Okay.
But they're not dissolved yet on the corporate website. So I filed public records request with the Attorney General's office saying, what are you doing? We can't tell you about Lynn, and we can't tell you about Medford. It's been 6 years.
Why?
Well, it's all been covered up. Marion Ryan and Maura Healy and Martha Coakley, all very tight with Stephanie Burke in Medford. And so, and Mayor McGlynn.
And Mayor Joe Curtatone.
They're all the puppet masters. And so I want to know where there's $38,000 that they say is missing in the paper. But I think there's more than that.
38 grand missing from where?
The TV station. They, myself, my colleague Bob Penta, and a woman we know, she was on their board, and they called her the N-word.
Well, not good.
And we went to the city council, and that's how we actually finally got them. And so the mayor forced them to shut down. They had to resign. We saved the city 700 grand. Mayor Burke wouldn't tell us what was going on. She put a secret board together, Chapter 74 board, her and Roy Belson. And I go to a screening at the high school, a film screening at the new TV station. And a couple of fellows say, hey, yeah, I'm on the cable advisory board. I said, what, cable advisory board? I said, I am video in Medford. What are you talking about? I've never heard of it. So I go up to the city councilors, Marks and Brianna Longo-Curran. She's running for mayor tonight. She's in the debate tonight.
I seen the signs out there, yeah.
I go, Brianna, you know about this Chapter 74? She goes, what? She puts it right on the city council. I go to Mia Mastone, school committee, who Mayor Burke is the chair of. Mia, you know about the Chapter 74 board? She goes, no. They spent the 700 grand Penta and I saved the city. And our other friend, I won't say her name, she publishes a magazine. The three of us shut them down. 700 grand in the account. The mayor spent it violating the open meeting law. So I filed with the proper filing, and I got them. They got slammed online. But they should have went further. And this is what I'm talking about. We caught them. They didn't use the open meeting law. They didn't want any of us to know, including the council, that they were going to spend the money that we saved the city by shutting down TV3. So that money went into the city's coffers. They spent it on the high school.
So is the TV3 still shut down?
It's gone, and the mayor is now running cable. And you have to have a Corey check if you want to even mail a show in. You have to have a Corey check. This is a high school. You don't need a Corey check to come to Wakefield High.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do you need a Corey check in Medford? They want to know all the politicians. They want to know their backgrounds. So to be on the mayor's station, it's even worse than TV3.
Wow.
So they
So
don't.
there's no Access TV in Medford at all
There
right
is
now?
access. Patrick Gordon, formerly from Malden, is running it.
Yep.
And we will say to our good friend Paul Donato, the state rep, he said that I should be running it.
Paul's a good guy.
God bless you,
Yeah.
Paul. It says that. He's been on the show. So there you have it. They are censoring. You know, Somerville, at least it functions. So Somerville functions. Wakefield's wonderful. And so the access stations are all different because they're run by the community. So each community is different and have different people running it. There's no cohesion
Yep.
in Access TV. But you can have a show like we do and bicycle it around to the different stations.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do in Somerville. My book's been, I did a show with Caroline Colarusso in Stoneham. She showed it in 8 different cities, and towns picked it up.
I remember Caroline, nice person.
She's a Stoneham selectman, too, as well.
Oh, is she now?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah,
I don't think
I
she
think
was.
the only Republican on there, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Republican, Democrat on regionally isn't like national
Yeah.
because they have to be concerned about fixing the streets.
You know something? They all should be concerned. We're all on the same team. We're
Right.
all in this together. Get with it. Fix it for the people. Take care of it. Never mind Democrat, Republican. Just take it. We all live in this. You know what I mean? We're together in this.
When did you start publishing?
I started publishing in 2013. Myself and a former business associate, we bought the Somerville News off a friend of yours, Bob Publicover.
Nice guy. I've
Very
only
nice
met him a
guy.
couple of times, but
He
really
passed
like
away
him.
years ago, though.
Bob's
Bob
gone
Publicover,
too.
Yes, yep.
Wow.
And actually today, Donald Norton from the former Somerville News, he was my associate business, so he passed
I
away.
know Donald.
His funeral
Knew
was
Donald.
today. Yep.
Wow.
And we ran the newspaper together till 6 years ago. And no, wait a minute. We started in 2003, and we ran it together till 2013. 2013.
That's 10 years.
Yeah. We went our separate ways. I became the Somerville News Weekly. He became the Somerville Times, and now we're still two competitors in Somerville.
So the Bob's magazine was the Somerville.
Bob's newspaper was the Somerville. It was a bi-weekly newspaper. It was the Somerville News.
Got it. And so will Donald's magazine continue? Newspaper.
I think it will. I think it will. He's a weekly paper. He comes out on a Wednesday. I'm a weekly paper, and I come out on a Tuesday. And I'm sure it still may if he has any interest. If someone still has an interest in it who used to work for him, so
Yeah, because he
time
told
will
me.
tell.
He told me for his real estate business, it was a very good vehicle.
Yeah. But like I said, his funeral was today, actually. His wife passed away last week. She passed away last Monday. And I guess they buried her on Wednesday, and he died on Thursday. And they waked him last night and buried today.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I have a musician friend. His father died. I go to the wake. The next day, the mother dies. She was hanging on. She was in rough shape. She hung on to take care of him. And then she let go when he died.
Yeah, sometimes they hang on for that last will, you know what I mean? That last...
Just to take care of the spouse.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. So God bless Donald and his wife. That's sad. So starting in 2013, you have a new newspaper.
The Somerville News Weekly. It's 40 pages of... I'm a political corruption journalist, and I go out looking, I go out digging, and I find it. I'm not afraid to put it out there. There's nothing watered down, nothing sugar-coated, and there is no filters on it. I just put out what I want to put out.
You're not hidden in the old post office at Union Square with a barricade?
No, I'm not afraid. I've got 3 or 4 death threats already, but it's part of the deal. What are you going to do?
I told you I went through the same thing.
Yeah.
We won't, but you're right, and they come after you.
You know something. A lot of them they crap themselves when they find out what you're going to write. I'm printing the truth, and I've told everybody I've ever written about. I've told them. I says, feel free to sue me for slander. Because I guarantee I'll have you in the front row of the courtroom with the FBI in the front row. So I haven't got no takers on that yet.
So you said you have interrogatories in here?
No, Barstool Sports was just it's being sued right now by Mayor Joe Curtatone.
Oh.
And Barstool Sports, I guess they're being sued because they said they were a Globe reporter during an interview. So Joe's trying to sue them on the false pretenses. But Mayor Curtatone went on TV saying he's never been humiliated or lied to so much about in the media in his life. So if he's saying that about Barstool, that means my book and my paper, it validates all my articles I've ever written about him in the last 12 or so years. So the weekend that it was announced that Joe Curtatone was suing Barstool Sports, I saw a picture of my book, Stealing Somerville, on the Barstool website. And Dave Portnoy said on there, wouldn't it be a shame if the world found out about this book? And he started putting all the links to the different pages on Barstool Sports. And that weekend, believe it or not, I got 293,000 views on StealingSomerville.com. And it was just like, wow. You know what I mean? And he's using, this mayor's a real criminal. Just read the book. It's all in there. It's all true stories and true names, true events.
Wow. So Curtatone's going after them for deceiving them.
Yes. On the filing an interview on the false pretenses.
Never heard of that.
He's the mayor. He can make up anything he wants, which he does.
Okay, so now I'm going to do something here. Who else would call up people under false pretenses and say he was a reporter? You have a picture with him.
And who's the picture with?
Oh,
this gentleman right here?
This gentleman would call people up using disguising his voice and...
No, I never heard that.
You didn't know that?
This picture actually came through in 2016. My brother and my ex-brother-in-law, he was a state rep in New Hampshire, threw a house party helped throw a house party for Donald J. Trump. And they asked me to go. I went and everything, and I got the light guy. So I was the first and only newspaper in the country to come out and formally endorse him as president. And I got to meet the guy. He was a real great guy. And coming from the most liberal city in the country, Somerville, what did he do? He endorsed my paper, the Somerville News Weekly. And here he is right there holding the paper.
I have a restraining order on my third finger right now,
No,
I have a restraining order on my finger.
Put it in front of it, but I got bragging rights.
The book is holding. I'm hiding my middle finger.
I caught a lot of crap from, people in Somerville. They, when I endorsed them, they were burning my newspaper boxes. They were burning my papers.
Well, that's not fair.
And, it's politics. But when I got to meet Donald Trump before, when he did endorse my paper, they told him, Mr. Tauro, he's losing all his newspaper boxes. They're burning his papers. He goes, come here, kid, put your arm around me and take a picture. How many papers can you sell now? So that's where the famous picture came from.
Wow. Well, God bless you. I mean, that's this is important work. Yeah. Like I said, people out there have to spend 10 minutes a day looking into your local whatever deal your cable providers make with the town. Know about it.
It's very
Show up at
important,
an
yeah, of
ascertainment
course.
hearing because it's your money. And
Local news is so important. You live and breathe it every day. It's around your home. You got to know what's going on in your backyard, your city hall, your fire department, your police department. We got so much corruption in the Somerville Police Department right now. It's pathetic.
well, Medford.
Well,
Quarter of
Somerville
the-
alone. We had the mayor try to promote a police sergeant. He at the time he promoted from patrolman to sergeant. He put his penis on a elementary school computer as the school resource officer and emailed it out from the computer. That's a federal crime. And at the same time, this guy, this police officer, he stole the identity of a Concord police officer because he was going out with the Concord police officer's ex-wife. And while he did that, he fired off his pistol in the middle of a busy square on a Saturday. 3 strikes and you're out. So what did Tony do? He promoted him from patrolman to sergeant. Now, recently, the last few months, I've been fighting at every meeting because Tony's now trying to promote him, sneak him in to promote him to lieutenant. Now, he's out on a heart attack bill, this police officer, but he wants to retire to lieutenant just to get the money. He lost 2 times. He tried to sneak it in. It was July 4th weekend. It was a Monday, 2 days before the 4th of July. Nobody's around. He tried to sneak the meeting in. So I announced it in the paper and on my news site. Make sure people show up. You can't let this happen. Sure enough, we show up at this open meeting, and they're ready to go on with the proceedings and everything. And I got a call on my cell phone. They go, Bill, we're outside of Somerville City Hall. The front door's locked. So I said, hold on. So I said, Mr. Chairman, excuse me. I said, how can you throw an open meeting here with the front door locked? So he stopped the meeting, called the DPW to come unlock the doors.
Wow.
An hour went by. Everyone, let's commence the meeting. Now, all of a sudden, the city's attorney is lost. All of a sudden, just disappeared from the building. 2 of the aldermen got up and say, oh, I'm leaving, no attorney, I can't get here. They try every trick in the book. So they did that on a week. Everybody was on vacation. So they said, we'll continue with another meeting. They tried to sneak another meeting in 3 weeks later, which I showed up there. And I just made sure, as I was exiting the room, I took a picture of every councilor that was in that room before they made their vote. And I'm going to let everybody in the city know who voted and how you voted. We went back in after they came out of executive session. Sure enough, they all voted deny on this guy's promotion. 3 strikes and you're out.
But
this
they
guy
would not have done that without you being there as the
They
watchdog.
tried to sneak it in. And there were so many people. There's another police officer, a female police officer. She spoke up. What did they do? They put her on administrative duties just to get rid of her. Anyone who speaks up in Somerville, they get penalized. So I show up, I report the truth, and I expose it. That's the way you do it.
And people don't have time to do this.
True.
But they have to make time.
A lot of people say, wow, I wish he didn't get elected. Oh, I wish this didn't happen. Oh, I wish that bill didn't go through. You were sitting on your hands. Why didn't you show up to the meeting? I put that out there. 3 people showed up. Where was everybody? Now everywhere they complain. How's this guy keep getting elected? You're voting for him. You don't show up at the meetings. You don't do nothing about it. It's your own fault.
Well, some of these elections are very sketchy. Stat Smith in Everett, you know about him, right?
Not really, no.
He stole the election. He got 4 months in jail. And then he ran again, and he lost big time the last election. But Stat Smith is a famous case. So in Medford, I called the FBI and told them they're going to steal the 2015 election from Bob Penta. They did. Bob didn't believe it till a year later. He called me and said, you were right.
Really, huh?
Yeah, and we know how. But I alerted the FBI because I said, Bob had threatened to audit the school and the high school. I said, you're sending them away for 20 years. Stealing an election, Stat Smith got 4 months. So it's the lesser of 2 evils for them. But there's so much, like you said, corruption.
You got to be careful with the FBI, too, because Tony has 2 FBI agents on the police department. We were reporting our stuff. We were told to report to the FBI. Come to find out, they're 2 Somerville cops that were working for Joe Curtatone. And if they didn't do what he said, they'd be out there in the rain directing traffic with white gloves on in the middle of Union Square. So what I did, I went to the U.S. Attorney, Andrew Lelling. He's the same U.S. Attorney that went after Mayor Correa in Fall River. He's the same U.S. Attorney that went after the Varsity Blues, the college scam.
Yeah.
He's the same attorney that put Judge Joseph in jail after she let the migrant out the back door of the courthouse. I deal directly with him. Here's the case. He wants it. Their words were to me, it's a waiting game, Bill. It'll happen, but it's a waiting game. So I got my trust in him. He's a Republican, appointed by Donald Trump. He doesn't know any Democrats in this state a favor. So he don't care. He's out to make a name for himself. And Joe Curtatone's next. It'll be his next mark on his chalkboard.
Now, did he replace Carmen Ortiz?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So interesting, very interesting, because I went to Ortiz's office, and it was like...
Useless.
It was like, well, you have to go through the FBI first.
Yeah, useless. Just like if you go through district attorney's office, the district attorney is best friends with Joe. She's from Somerville. The attorney general, attorney,
Maura Healey.
Maura Healey, I'm sorry. She threw a fund during the height of all my exposing these articles. During the height of it in 2017, Maura Healey threw a fundraiser for Joe Curtatone.
I know.
What happens a month after that? Who comes and endorses Joe Curtatone for mayor? Elizabeth Warren. During the height of all this corruption, it's all printed in black and white all over. You're endorsing this guy still.
It took me about 10 phone calls to get Warren's office to call me back. And I said, my senator, call me. And then they finally did. And it's all about the TV station in Medford. And where's the money?
They're all hoarders. They're all TV newsmongers. That's what they are. They want to be on the TV, get all their visibility. Whether it's good or... Someone told me a long time ago, when you're on TV, people remember you were on TV. They don't know if it's good or bad, but they remember you were on TV. So the more FaceTime Joe Curtatone gets, the better for him.
Well, tonight, before coming here to see you, Norman Greenbaum was in town. Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah, I saw the video on Facebook. You were Facebooking it live.
I did a
right?
Facebook Live of it.
Yeah.
Because I did a 3-part series on Norman in 2008 for the Malden Observer. I did a lot of music articles in Malden for the Malden Extreme, the Farron family. They're all from Malden. Perry Mason's from Malden.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So Earl Stanley Gardner lived in Malden, wrote the Perry Mason books, and so Dell Street is what became Della Street.
Oh, wow. Interesting fact.
Dell Street. Yeah. So we did a whole series of things. I did a 3-part article on Norman. It's just huge. He's the first cousin of the ex-superintendent of Medford Schools, Roy Belson. They grew up together in Malden. Mm-hmm. So I said, Nell, to the Malden, I wrote for the Medford paper. I'm like, Nell, you got to publish this. She goes, I want to. It's so long. She should have truncated it. She never ran it. And it's like, I got paid from Malden, so you can run this for free.
Yeah.
And she wanted to, and it never got in.
It's a lost opportunity.
You own a Gatehouse. You know Gatehouse.
Yeah, I know
They'll put it in
Gatehouse,
84 papers for you.
Yep.
And they have. So Norman Greenbaum's there, and the mayor, Christensen, comes up to me. Hi, Joe.
Gary Christensen, good guy, yeah.
Yeah, good guy, comes up to me and says hi, but when I call his office and I try to get in, I go to his office, he sends his second in command out. And I'm like, tell Gary not to hide on me. At a party, he'll put his hand around me and take a picture with me.
Yeah.
And then when I go to, come on, Gary. But tonight he was very friendly, and you know, Norman deserved it.
Yeah.
They get this big mural on City Hall now.
How high does it go?
It's the whole length of
Really,
like the 5-6 stories.
I saw it in the video. I just couldn't put it in perspective. How
It's
big it was.
huge. And so Norman wrote me like 3 months ago. He said, I'm going to be in Malden. So I thought it was all these Malden artists. It was just him.
That's so cool, yeah.
Yeah, and there was Gary. So they do some good things for the community.
Yeah.
But there are so many intricacies that your newspaper can at least document contemporaneous with what it's happening.
Local news is so important to keep up with. It's critical to keep up with local news. You got to know what's going on. You have to.
They know that there's a gold mine in local news because the Globe and the Herald are losing readership. Mm-hmm. But local news is hot to the people living within those communities.
Yeah. I'm getting between 5,000 to 8,000 people a day on my Somerville News Weekly site. And people just want to see the truth. They want to see it unfiltered, no cover-ups, nothing sugar-coated, none of this. Well, he's this good guy. Hey, tell the truth. He's good or bad. One either or. Tell the truth the way it is.
They like to see music and sports. They like to see their kids in the paper. Do you do that as well?
We also have, every week, we have the favorite birthday photos of the week.
Good.
We do a lot with the community, the elderly. They love our paper because they're in it every week. We take the pictures. You know, I was hosting an event with the Winter Hill Yacht Club. Every month we were hosting an event for the Somerville seniors. Lovely seeing 100 people. We bring them in. We serve them dinner, put shows on for them. But Yeah, Curtatone stopped all that because he doesn't want him talking to Billy Tauro. He doesn't want Billy Tauro to tell him the truth about him. But these people read my paper. They read the book. They already know about Joe Curtatone. But he took it away from all the seniors that I can't throw a fundraiser, not a fundraiser, but it was a free dinner for them every month with a free, event. But he tries to keep the seniors away, but I still keep up with them.
Do you do a radio or TV show?
No, not yet. We've been trying to get into podcasts, but my schedule's been so off the wall. It's been crazy, but we're getting there, though, with it.
So a hot set, have you ever heard of a hot set?
A little bit. What is it?
Hot set is a host-operated set. So this room could potentially be a hot set. Mm-hmm. I used to edit in here 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. The editing was back there. I mean, right here. This was the wall.
For a paper?
No, I was editing. I was doing my TV show here.
Okay, yeah.
Now I'm back here. Hey, hi Wakefield. So, but this was the edit suite. So we had VHS tapes over here, and I would
VHS tapes. My God, yeah.
That's when I was editing here in Wakefield.
You're dating yourself, yeah.
Dating myself, young man. I'm an elder person. So as an elder person, of course, when you reach out to the seniors in your community, they're going to read papers.
Yeah.
Have you found that you need the online though, because the kids?
Like I said, I get about 8,000 people a day on the sites. I look at it online, but my seniors want the print edition. They want the print editions. They just go.
We grew up on it.
Yeah, they grew up on it. If the print edition's late being delivered, my cell phone will ring off the charts. It'll just off the wall keep on ringing and ringing and ringing. They want that print edition there every Tuesday.
Now, do you go into the senior centers and have them there?
In Somerville News Weekly, we're in 200 locations in Somerville. Every senior center, every senior building, every municipal building.
That's smart.
Just about every store wants it because it brings customers into their stores. It's a free paper and it's everywhere in Somerville. My red boxes are all along Broadway, Highland Ave.
Oh yeah, I've grabbed it from there.
Yeah.
I've grabbed 3 or 4 copies.
Yeah. Election time, Curtatone will grab more than that. He'll steal a whole bunch.
Well, you know why he's doing that. That's why I wasn't reading it.
The last election, 2017, every day, we deliver on Tuesdays. By Tuesday afternoon, all my boxes will be empty. 100 copies, 200 copies in each box, all gone. He was sending people around, taking them, emptying all my boxes
Now,
out.
isn't that illegal?
It's illegal, but it's politics. What are you going to do? Who are you going to complain to? His police department? Please.
It's crazy.
But they do it. And his sister's the Register of Deeds in Middlesex County. Another one. She's just like him.
She had that big building. She was a lawyer there on the...
Maria Curtatone on 567 McGrath Highway.
Yep.
Yeah, right now, that's in line for a pot shop. How do you like that? A pot shop.
I thought that would be condos.
Well, you know something? It's still a conflict. Joe Curtatone, he is putting a pot shop license in the name of his dead father's trust, the Cosmo Curtatone Realty Trust. His father died 20 years ago, and the beneficiaries of that trust is Maria Curtatone, the registrar, which is his sister, and his 90-year-old mother. They're going to be the beneficiaries of the pot shop. Is that a conflict of interest or what? There's 12 licenses in Somerville. Joe's got 2 of them. Now, there's another individual. He's got some property in Somerville. He's a developer. He's got 6 pot licenses in his name. And I'm going to be reporting that this week. 6. So out of 12 licenses, Curtatone's getting 2. Another one of his friends, cronies, is getting 6. And 2 other friends are getting the rest of them. So
there was a DA, district attorney down in Suffolk, that put away maybe 3,000 different people for marijuana. And now he's got 3 pot licenses.
Oh, nice, huh?
I know his name. I don't want to say it on the air. I'll tell you off the air. But
it's amazing.
It was all over the papers.
It's amazing.
Yeah. This is a light show, and today we're getting pretty heavy. But you got to look around.
You got to speak the truth and tell the people what's going on. You got to tell them. How else are they going to find out?
And you got to find honest people to go for elected office.
Yeah.
You know, there's one person that's really nice in Medford, and, well, there's many very nice people, but there's a politician who's very nice. But suddenly, and I said to her, I said, you've gone to the dark side with the mayor. Why? You were our voice. Because you get these voices, and they're...
Who's that?
I don't want to give Mia's name out.
Yeah.
But I just did. So, you know, Mia, we love you, Mia. But when you were independent, you got elected. And then they suddenly start voting with the mayor, and we need, maybe the mayor has a good idea, but you want to have a little bit of inspection.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a few other people voting against the one same old voice, then you get crop rotation.
Yeah. Rubber stamping.
Well, Mayor Burke doesn't want term limits, and I'm a big fan of term limits.
Yeah, we should have term limits, yeah.
I love Bob Penta. In 38 years, I said, Bob, I'm on your side, but 38 years is 38 years.
Yeah, it is. Let someone new, young come in and better ideas, fresh.
Now, it hurt to lose Penta's voice because he's such a strong voice and he knows a lot about the city, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him a few times, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's Republican.
Yep.
I'm Democrat, so we have great battles.
Yeah. I have a lot of Democratic friends, and I'm friends with politicians. I call them my favorite Democrats. They call me their one and only favorite Republican.
But
we get along.
Here's the interesting thing. Bob and I are logical. We're not so far to the left or right. Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes he does, and sometimes I do, but we can come down and be logical. And when you mix our two ideas, it's very valuable when we both agree.
Yeah.
And look, we're the ones who took down TV3, a Democrat and a Republican.
Yeah.
But when it comes to local politics, the Republican and the Democrat could sit down and come up with and if we could do this nationally, if you could have the two sides talk the way Bob and I talk, he's a friend. I consider Bob a friend. We get things done.
Yeah.
Because the two sides can meet.
True.
So you have Democratic friends that you...
A lot of them. Yeah, I support a lot of Democratic friends. I do. And like I said, I'm their only Republican friend, but we get along, and some of them have good ideas. Some have not so good ideas, but you make them work. Yeah.
Well, like I said, locally, Curtatone, Burke, I don't think these people are really Democrat or Republican. I think that they are in the local world, and they run it their way. They're like little governors.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the D or the R even matters locally. It's about fixing the streets. It's about doing the right thing.
Curtatone will go anywhere there's a vote. Even if it's a chicken, he'll act like a chicken. You know what I mean? I remember a couple of years ago, I took a picture of him. He was dressed as Christopher Columbus for Halloween. Him, his wife, his kids. What does he do the year after? He gets rid of Columbus and makes Indigenous Day. So I put the picture in the paper. Is he a hypocrite? Of course.
I think having both days, it's Columbus Day.
But you don't go dressing as Columbus and boot him out.
Well, like you said,
don't do that.
He'll do anything for a vote.
He'll do anything for a vote. Exactly.
Now, see, another mayor likes to polarize and divide the town, so she doesn't shake your hand if you didn't vote for her. I see her at Lakasha's Bakery, and she's like, I can't talk to you. We were friendly when you were on the city council. I liked you.
If I saw you at Lakasha Bakery, I wouldn't talk either because their food's so good.
But no, I mean, it's like, and I let her remember that it's like we were on the same side when she was on the council.
Yeah, it's too bad.
She becomes, and she, not only me, I mean, I don't take it personally because she's done this to everyone. If you're running for mayor, at least give the illusion that you like people.
Yeah. True.
So back to your book, you've got a sequel.
Yes.
And if you read this book, you can continue.
There is a volume 2 on there, but I was told not to release it yet because volume 1's on fire. People still enjoy it. It's gone not nationwide, it's gone worldwide. There is a movie in play.
Well, that was my next question. Yeah. How did that happen? There's a movie in play.
Well, I'm friends with the Wahlbergs, and they got to take a look at it. And I was asked the question: have you ever been sued on the book? I go, no. It's all real names, real stories. It's all the actual truth. So they showed their interest because, in the book, it's all about Summerlin, all the mayors, his intimidation, how he would, he would bump police off the police list and everything like that if you didn't pay off, make your contribution. And that's how Sean Collier from, he was in Wahlberg's movie Patriots Day. That's how Sean Collier ended up on the MIT police. He was supposed to be an MIT, he's supposed to be a Somerville cop. He never made the list because Curtatone had him bumped. He had him bumped to put somebody else on the list in his place. And then the kid met his fate with the Boston Maritime Bombers. So there's a lot of stuff in there that happened. It's all true stuff. And like I invited Joe Curtatone, sue me if you think I'm wrong. He's never taken me up on it.
Invite him on TV.
I'd love to have Joe on TV with me. I'd love to have a debate with him. It would be fantastic.
But they like to control the media.
Yeah. He has his own media station, I want to call it, in Somerville. He puts out his own news flashes, his own Press releases come out, and it's like the Joe Curtatone hour when they you publish them in the paper. It's a city press release, but it's all Joe Curtatone. That's all it is. It's his own show.
Well, what a lot of citizens don't realize is there are subtle things that happen at city halls and town halls. Like when Mayor McGlynn stepped down and Mayor Burke was running, when she was running, McGlynn was very big on not having boards and commissions filled. So he had these titles, but he didn't fill them. Suddenly, the election's coming, all these people that are going to vote for Burke get filling all these, the Disability Commission. So I walk into a disability meeting with my phone. I want to do Facebook Live. And the chair of the board was on a board of directors with me at Somerville TV. We were on the radio board. Oh, Joe, the disabled people don't want you taping Facebook Live. I said, you're kidding me.
Really?
I won't say her name.
Why?
I said, you're in an open meeting. If they don't want to be on TV, they should step down from being on this advisory board. But that's okay. I'm going to go to the legal office. So I went to the law office, and the city solicitor was missing. So I just went home and filed a open meeting law violation. Well, they responded, and of course I won again, that they violated the open meeting law. I said, Mr. Viglione had every right to Facebook Live your open meeting. So now if people want to know if it's legit to go to a meeting in Facebook Live, it is.
Why wouldn't you do it? It's perfect. It's funny you mentioned the disability chairman, because I just found out today, I just mentioned to you about the developer with the 6 pot licenses.
Yep.
6 out of 12 licenses. He's also the chairperson of the Somerville Disability Commission.
Well, there's too many of these dual...
Mayor Joe Curtatone appointed him that position, yet he gives him 6 pot licenses.
And people got to know this, and they got to think about it and sit and just see the gravity of it, because, like I said when we began the show, it's money going out of their back pocket, out of their wallet. So you can go and you can do your little coupon at Stop and Shop and wherever, and you saved $1, but there's hundreds of dollars coming out of your back pocket.
It's awful with it. They're just going through money like it's water.
They do, and you don't know where it's going. Yeah, because when you file a public records request, okay, the doors are missing at City Hall in Medford.
Really?
And I knew I was tipped off.
What do you mean the doors are missing?
The doors were missing. They put up new doors, but these old brass doors, kind of like the Vatican, right? Been there forever, worth a lot of money. I was tipped off, so John Bavusso's talking at an open meeting, and I'm taping it. And he's talking about new doors coming in. I said, yes, Mr. Bavusso, what about the old doors? You could see him chill. And he's a really nice guy. John's a really nice guy, and he knows I say that about him. But he had it's up the grapevine there.
Yeah.
And he's cold. I mean, and then Andy Castanetti's in back. And Andy's like, Andy's one of us. There's like 10 of us that go to the council and really ask the questions. What? The Vatican restored doors like that?
Our doors? Historic?
Yeah. Our doors, where are the doors? So I filed a public records request. Now, the assistant city solicitor is very nice. And I'm very clear that I tell her, Kim, you're a great, great woman. I love you. It's your boss. I get the response to my public records request, if you want to find out where they went, ask the taxpayers.
What's that mean?
It means that her boss, who I'm mortal enemies with, wrote under her name, because she would never do that. So,
that's fine.
So then you have to write an appeal to the Secretary of State's office. They wrote immediately. They said, give him the information he's asking for.
How long ago they changed the doors?
About a year ago.
It's another coincidence. 2 months ago, I wrote a story. I went to City Hall, and we had these big white wooden doors. It's a historical building. I walked in, there were brown vinyl doors from Home Depot. And I asked the lady at the front desk, I go,
gee, I think it's the same brown vinyl doors in Medford City Hall.
Brown vinyl doors. So I asked, I go, what happened to doors? Someone from the Department of DPW changed them. So I called up the Historical Commission. I go, where's the doors? The historic building. You fine people thousands of dollars for doing that in their homes. You just changed the front doors of City Hall.
They just did in Medford.
So, make a long story short, they're changing the doors back to the original doors next week.
All right.
Because we reported it.
I write public records requests. So I kept hammering away. I kept appealing and kept appealing. Finally, Kimberly writes me, and she says they're being repaired. Well, you know they weren't being repaired before my little public records request. So now I want to know, Where are they? Where are the repair bills?
Freedom of Information Act, you have to know.
But they duck in Medford. The police, and there's a big article on the police failing to respond. So, of course, I wrote to the police, and I have a pending request for the 27 names. I said, but I want the 30 names, because there were 45 cops that were investigated, 15 exonerated, 27 disciplined. Well, that doesn't add up to 45. What are the 3 in limbo? This is why they don't like us when we ask these questions. Where are these 3 in limbo? What are they?
You're entitled to know.
They said personnel issues. So this is a talking point, okay? And Chief Buckley says these are all good men and women. I said, well, Chief Buckley, that's what you have in your bio before this scandal, so you have your own talking points. These are all good men and women. He repeats it again. I said, no, this police misconduct was the headline in the transcript.
Yeah.
So I asked, where are the curbstones? Where are the metal manhole covers were stolen?
How many of those were gone?
A lot. This is about 10 years ago.
Someone probably junked them for the steal, for the price. Yeah.
Well, you know, allegedly. The copper at the Medford Housing Authority, that was in the Globe, $3,000. I wrote to the police. I said, did you go to H&H? I'm going to say H&H. I said, did you go? And nothing. No response. Did you go get the receipt for this copper that was in the Boston Globe? And so, crickets. So they all know what's going on. The curbstones, the manhole covers, the city hall doors.
Were they new manhole covers or old ones, or what were they?
I don't know. I only know that.
Why would they replace a manhole cover? Manhole covers don't get, they're made of cast iron. They don't get worn out.
We say allegedly, because I'm not saying any names or anything like that, but allegedly, I have no idea if
I'd love to dig into that story for you.
Do it.
Yeah?
Do it, because off the air, I'll give you lots of information
Oh,
on
I'm sure you will.
who Golden Boy is. But this is every city and town, people. It's Wakefield, it's Saugus, like we talked about. And there's great, great people out there, good politicians, nice politicians that believe in access TV. But there are other people that...
Give everyone else a black eye.
Right.
They do, yeah?
And if you get a couple and they do things, it taints the whole...
It's awful. Like I said, the Somerville Police Department, we got a fine bunch of officers there. Men, women, I mean, they're the best. But you got a few bad apples on the top tier over there who make it look bad for everybody. And they're supposed to be setting an example for these young cops coming in. They don't. How do you promote someone to put his penis on a copy machine?
No,
How do you
that's
promote
beyond.
that?
That's beyond.
That's criminal. It's federal. But he got away with it.
Well, I told you about... I get stuff in the mail as you do. And I got this disc, and we went to the FBI with it, and the FBI said, well, you know anyone at the district attorney's office? I said, yeah, I know someone up there. You know, go to that person. So I call that person up. What does he do? He calls the Medford Police.
Pass the buck.
Detective McLean calls me, and I said, JJ, I don't want the police having this because, you know, it'll get buried.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the FBI. You went to the FBI? I said, of course I did. He goes, you're in no trouble. I said, of course I'm in no trouble, JJ. So I called two of my lawyers, and they said, just give it to them, right?
Yeah.
So I gave it to the police, and I said, I want you to interview me. So JJ put the video camera on. You're a journalist, yes. You get all this stuff in the mail. I said, I give them right to you after I get them in the mail. I want you to have it on file, right? So I copy stuff, and I'd give it to the police back when JJ was there. So they had a thick file, but nothing happened. And it is alleged.
Cover up.
Well, they said we couldn't tell if it was adult or child. And I said, of course you could. Here's the kid's name. Here's where it was filmed. The guy got evicted. It's very simple.
I think you sent me that link.
Yeah.
About the story. Yes.
So it's very simple. You find out where the kid was working.
Yeah.
And I believe he was 15, probably delivering whatever they made. And then you find the date of eviction of the alleged person that did this, allegedly with city-owned cameras. Buried, because they don't want it to go to City Hall, because City Hall helped this individual out many times.
Yeah.
But what about public safety? So it's all about public safety.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
The
And
cover-ups are just out of control in all these cities. And like I said, you could change the name as to Stealing, Medford, Malden, Wakefield, whatever. Every city has that problem.
so I'm going to read something from your book. I usually have people read their book, but I'm going to read for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Bill Tauro invites you to a cocktail reception honoring Joseph Curtito, Mayor of Somerville.
I threw maybe 20 fundraisers. I was his friend. He used to work for me.
He was your friend?
He was my friend. He was like a son to me. Actually, when he was going through college, he worked for me at a limousine company. He was my limousine driver.
Whoa.
And he told that story to many people at the fundraisers I threw for many. But as time went on, his head got bigger, and he figured he can get away with things. And my family has a lot of property. We never asked for nothing for this guy. We didn't need nothing. We had money. We didn't need nothing from this guy at all. But Joe Curatone's the kind of guy, he gets jealous. He actually, when we were developing a piece of property, my family was, he tried to stick his hands in my family's pocket and told our attorney and told my brother that it's not going to go through unless you use my developers, in which he's part of the firm. It's extortion. You can't do that. So, and there's no, for me, there's no looking back. Joe, you did me wrong. You're out. So I'm letting the world know what this guy's really like. I've heard a ton of stories about this guy doing this. I could never prove it. Firsthand is best evidence there is.
And he worked for you.
He was my limo driver, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's it's sad that.
It's called betrayal. It's betrayal, that's what it is.
What do you think when you met Donald Trump?
I think he's a real good guy.
No, what did he think, Joe Curtatone?
Oh, well, you know something? Joe plays the part, well, oh, it's shame on you, you met Donald Trump. But he told me, he goes, well, let me know next time you go. I'd like to go with you because, hey, he's the president. I'd love to go see him. But he won't do that in private. I got a picture of him, I think it's in the book too, of him wearing a Make America Great hat on. He was clowning around with it, so I put it in the book. I put it in the paper as well. I let the world see it.
Well, I showed you a photo before we went on the air of someone clowning around, but
and
we're not going to.
I'm still in awe of the photo you showed me. I don't know how I didn't see that
Okay.
on Turtle Boy or CNN somewhere like that.
Now, I'm not going to say the name. I've known the guy 45 years. He used to come to our company.
You can't make this up. You really can't make this up what I just saw.
And think about this for a moment, people. He's known me 45 years. I got this camera, and I capture photos. So I'm there. It's 10:30 a.m., October 15th, just 2 years ago yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
October 15th, 2017, the grand opening of the new TV station
Yeah.
that I worked hard for.
Oh, my God.
And Joe Vig's there taking, and they call me Joe Vig.
You took that picture then, right?
I got a series of photos.
But that one particular picture
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw today?
Yeah. So they want to call me Joe Vig. Fine, I'll buy into it. Joe Vig's there, and he's snapping photos in succession. And suddenly, this individual's hand went where it shouldn't have gone.
It grabbed somebody's junk pretty good. And I said, oh, my God.
With two little children, who I believe were the children of one of the city
In the room?
councilors, in the room,
Okay.
and a 15-year-old student running the camera.
Were they in the photo or watching?
No,
this?
but they were in
They
there.
saw you taking a photo.
Well, the kids could have seen it, but they were there.
What was going through his mind to do something like that?
Well, with me, the maniac, taking pictures in
Yeah.
succession. So now I'm uploading it to my blog, and the Patriots are on. And just as I'm uploading the picture, the Patriots are like, illegal use of the hands. And I'm like, yes! It's my title.
Yeah. Good tagline for it, too. Did this individual see that picture?
Of course, I sent it to his office. I sent it to Martha Coakley and said, what are you going to do about your old
God.
friend here? It's everywhere.
Now, let me ask you something. If that was Donald Trump doing that, what do you think would happen?
It's a big joke.
No, if that was Donald Trump that was doing what he did, he'd be locked up right now. They would triple for impeachment. But he's a Democrat. They let it slide.
Well, it's the power structure. He plays the game very well, this individual that I've known. But,
I have a lot of respect for that guy we're talking about, but I lost a lot of respect after seeing that picture. I don't know why he would do something stupid like that.
especially when I cut and paste and then I turn it upside down. So it's the actual photo. I haven't done anything other than zero in on certain aspects of the photo. I don't retouch it. I just cut and then paste the new.
A lesson to be learned. Stay away from Joe. Stay away from Joe. He's got a camera in his hand.
Okay. Well, let's go to, and we're talking about another city now, but then there's a mayor at the city solicitor's son's wedding. And the firefighters ask her, allegedly, what about our contract? And she flips them the bird.
I saw that photo, yeah.
Now, I didn't take that photo. I wasn't invited to my old friend, the solicitor's wedding. Him go to the taxpayers to find out the answer to your public records
Was she joking
request.
around? She did it was a serious
She was joking around,
yeah.
but the firefighters are endorsing Brianna Lungo-Kern, her opponent. What does that tell you?
Yeah, they took it seriously, yeah.
Well, it was serious. She was joking, but she wasn't joking.
Yeah.
And so how did I get that photo? How did I get that child photo that I never looked at, honest to God, that floppy disk? I let the police tell me what was on it, but how do I get this stuff?
The police ever do anything with it?
No, but I keep hitting them with public records requests. This current public records request on the police, I've also asked about the floppy disk. So and in another situation I'll tell you off camera, very, very bad thing concerning the mayor. And so these 3 issues I asked in a public records request, they keep ducking. So Freedom of Information Act, you know how it goes. If you lose the appeal, you have to take it to court.
Yes, I'm familiar with it, yeah.
So that's what they're banking on. But these people should not be running for elected office knowing what we know, and then they have to respond to these requests, and then we have facts like you have in your book. It drives them crazy.
True facts.
Well, people send me these photos,
Yeah.
and then I take my own. And
Well, that photo you showed me today, there's no denying what happened. Like I said, I wasn't all when you showed me. I don't know how.
in front of so many people at the grand opening of a TV
It's a
station.
crime right there, what he did, but I just don't know how it ever.
And that person got a job at the State House.
Yeah, I know.
So, and that person had a very good job at a hospital and got a better job. And here's one thing. That individual, we're not talking about, when Carl Shortino got the job at the AIDS Action Committee,
Yes.
the individual we're talking about says in a newspaper, I'd be happy to get another job that pays me more money. What an insult to the voters.
Yeah.
I've known this guy 45 years. So, Bill, God bless you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
This is hard work.
I enjoy what I do. I enjoy when you tell the truth and you're telling your story and people listen to you. You enjoy what you do.
So who do you want to play you in the movie?
Mark Wahlberg.
You do?
Yeah, I heard he's going to be playing the investigative journalist.
Really?
That's going to be getting the phone call. This just happened. That just happened. Sean Collier just got killed. And there's 3 endings of the movie, which is where everyone's deciding whether Joe gets reelected or if Joe gets hauled out of City Hall, Somerville City Hall in handcuffs, or if Mark Wahlberg goes to Joe's office, puts his feet on his desk as Billy Tauro as the new mayor. We don't know how it's going to be. In a movie, they can do anything they want.
Well, I'm going to audition for casting director. Okay, I want to cast Gary Christensen as Joe Curtis.
Gary's too honest to be Joe Curtis, trust me.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, tell him not to hide from me when I come over to talk about cable. But the cable station, they invited me to coffee, so maybe we'll have you on in Malden.
Oh, sounds good.
Well, we will. See, Ron Cox, I was just at the Norman Greenbaum thing. So Ron was the ED here, the executive director here. And Paul, our director, hey, Paul, he met him at the party last year. And so Ron is now at Malden TV, so I was the music director here and then over at Malden. So
You got a beautiful studio here, by the way, too. Real nice.
now another great studio is Reading.
There's a nice one over there, too, yeah.
So I'm a member there. Paul's a member here. So I go into Reading the first time and I go, this looks like Wakefield. They go, same architect.
Oh, yeah.
But Reading, they're so wonderful in Reading. They're so wonderful here. I love Wakefield. I love Reading. The people are so good. They're just so professional.
Yeah.
And that's what I want in Access TV.
Big difference, yeah.
So the difference
big
in
difference.
Reading is that it's an old movie theater.
Oh, wow.
So when you walk down, now the halls are different, but the studios look exact. And that's a kind of cool thing because this is a great studio. You walk down the halls in Reading and there are old movie posters, maybe from the theater
wow.
itself. It's great.
It's similar to the studio in Stoneham. It's an old church.
Well, see,
And
that,
They did a beautiful job in it. Really nice.
wait a minute, I'm a member there.
Oh, you know what church I'm talking about? Yeah.
I'm a member
Okay, yeah.
because I wrote for the Stoneham
That's
paper.
what
So,
Caroline Colarusso has her show on. It was on that show, too, yeah.
all right, so this is important about Winthrop Cable, which I love. And I should be a member again, but it's just too far to drive. I love them over there.
With us 10 minutes.
No, you know how many lights are on? I've counted them. There's like 19 lights on
I had a
Route.
boat in Winthrop, 10 minutes to take me to
Wait,
get
yeah,
there.
they're both, but you go down, what is it, Route 16?
Yeah.
There's 19
No,
lights.
it's true, yeah.
From Medford, I counted them because I was going so much. So Winthrop is lovely, but here's what Winthrop and Stoneham that people should know about. They bought the buildings. The old Christian Science Church is now the Winthrop Station.
Wow, they did it over nice.
Yeah, I would imagine Reading owns theirs. So the 700 grand Bob Penter and I saved the city of Medford, I'm like, buy a truck. I went to the council, I said, let's buy a truck, let's buy cameras, we'll just use the Chevalier Theater and the library as home base,
Yep.
but we'll have a roving TV station. Crickets. No, you can't have public media in Medford. But I mean, am I talking fiscal responsibility? Buy a small van.
Yeah.
They have a van out here, WCAT.
Yeah.
Those cameras now go over the cable. They go over the phone wires. So you don't need cable to broadcast on cable.
Yeah. True.
And so it was very logical what I put together for.
Technology is all changing so fast.
And my old friend Paul Donato was telling my friends, Joe should be running the station. I'm like, I sent him an email, Paul, why don't you tell the public and tell the mayor? You know,
Yeah.
but he's telling my colleagues, Joe should be, well, yeah, because fiscal responsibility, think about the future because that cable money is going to be gone. So Winthrop and Stoneham bought their buildings, I believe Reading might have, and Medford is in the school. I'm glad Wakefield's in the school, but the thing is to own something for the future, own some property
Yeah.
with that money that is millions of dollars. And a lot of our viewers don't realize that it's millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It is, yeah.
I'll say this about Malden and Wakefield. At the annual party, you can get the financial reports from these stations. They're totally open.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing.
Good.
I'm talking a lot. So you had fun on the show?
I had a lot of fun. Thank
We-
you for
we got-
inviting me.
Look at that. I just guessed. 2 minutes left.
Yeah, that's like the old days in the, applaud.
So you're on Carolyn's show. And how long is that? 30 minutes? Or an
No,
hour?
she kept me on there for an hour.
Good.
I was on Mike Siegel's show,
I don't know him.
Nationwide, Mike Siegel, WRKO.
Okay.
He had me on his talk show not too long ago. I've been on the shows down the Cape in Plymouth and Mashpee. I've been all over the place.
I got a good one for you down in, and we got 145. I got a Harrison Young, great host. He's down in, I want you to go all the way down to Plymouth because the station.
I was on the station in Plymouth. I was on that show already.
On Harrison Young?
It's called Venus and...
No, there's a different one.
Okay, different one. Okay.
But
yeah.
it's not on the Plymouth station. It's down the road a bit, and I'm just having a. It's like an alien name for the public access station.
Venus and Mars.
No.
You sure?
8. It's something to do with 8. I should know
Okay,
this.
yeah.
But I'm going to hook you up with him. He's a great
Sounds
guy.
good. I'm on.
It's,
Sounds
but I
good.
want you to see the station. They are very proactive public access. I want to thank Paul Norman, who's a terrific director. We want to say hi to Lisa Kavanaugh out there. She's one of our co-hosts. We want to thank Bill Tauro, and it's the Somerville Weekly News.
Somerville News Weekly.
I was going to ask you, when did you release this?
December of 2018, last year.
Okay,
It's
cool.
not even a year old yet.
We want to thank Cambridge CCTV that airs our shows, and we want to thank a bunch of the stations that air our shows. I'm having a mental block, and I'm sorry about that station, Stoneham and Cambridge and Wakefield, and we're having fun. Reading, thank you very much. There's tons of stations out there. We love you all. And thank you, WCAT, of course, for your resources. Ryan and Barbara and Paul can't do it without you. And that's our show for tonight. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
good luck with the book.
Thank you so much.